14. The Wheel of Life. Closely associated with the world mountains are the many wheels of life, by which the ancients sought to picture the relations of parts of the universe to each other and to the whole. There is a hint of this in the Tibetan world picture, with Mount Meru, the axis or hub of the world, about which are placed, like spokes in a wheel, the 4 quarters of the earth, with their 3 islands each, making the sum of 12 radii from the center. The wheel of the zodiac was, of course, the great original for all such figures, particularly for the wheels of life. For uncounted centuries, man knew the geography of the heavens better than the geography of the earth, and whatever life on earth meant to him, the unfailing procession of the great star groups of the zodiac meant certainly law, order. There were zones written in the heavens long before man stretched his imaginary lines of the terrestrial zones over the earth. The circle called the zodiac, said Plutarch, is placed under the 3 that are in the midst, and lies obliquely, gently touching them all. And it is not hard to see how this great circle came to seem to man a mirror of the earth, a storehouse of its history, its constant watcher in the sky, and the unerring prophet of its future. The Greeks named this oblique ring of star groups just behind the sun, when it sets, or just before it when it rises, the zodiac, or path of animals, because the names and configurations of the groups were mostly those of animals, and by that name we know it. But no one knows how long before the days of the Greeks, far earlier astronomers, first linked the single groups of stars into the 12 great signs of the star-bearing circle. Physica Sacra is an early 18th century Bible illustrated almost text for text, and plate 26 is the first illustration for the first verse of the first chapter of the first book. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Outside the zodiacal wheel are clouds upon clouds bearing a multitude of spheres, and, in addition, 7 numbered diagrams. Figure 1 in this plate illustrates the system of the 11 heavens, with the earth the center of the universe. Figure 2 is the Tychonian system. Figure 3, what is known as the semi-Tychonian system. Figure 4, the blazing and effulgent sun, containing within himself his 7 children, Earth and Moon, and the 5 great planets. Figure 5, a group of the heavenly bodies. Figure 6, an armillary sphere. Figure 7, an astrolabe, which is almost to say the handle of the stars, and which was called by the old astronomers the mathematical jewel. The northern and southern hemispheres of the heavens are merely supplementary to Schutzer's Creatio Universae. They are taken from an Arabic celestial globe made of brass in 1275 AD, which was deposited in the Museum of the Royal Asiatic Society of Great Britain and Ireland. Near the South Pole is an inscription of Kufic characters stating that it was made by the most humble and the supreme God, Mohammed.
Peace, brother. I said, let me play a little of this real quick so people can hear a little bit from this book of Earth. There's so many different books, and this is supposedly one of the world books. So just wanted to put a little of that from the conversation we were having. What's going on with you?
Chilling. I was I don't know, my notifications, man. I looked at, I was like, man, how many minutes is it? Is a whole, I went to look and I seen you was already live. So I'm on my phone. I think some of my electronics just choose not to, they treat me how they feel like. But I see you. That's what's up, man. I'm chilling, man, for real. I'm up here. I'm putting some shit together.
Okay. Let's do that. We can jump on something. You thinking about something in particular? That's like what you was thinking of, something that's on your mind, bro, or some pics or something? What's going on? I'm opening up my phone.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what it is. Right? It's the Are you into the screen sharing type shit? Is you want?
Yeah. You want me to screen share?
Okay. Yeah, I want you to I don't know. You want to look it up? Or you want me to look it up? Because I'm in the process of doing it. So, but I can tell you exactly what I'm doing.
I can wait and let you share because you be good with whatever you want to pull up. So take your time if you want to do that. That's good.
All right then. So what do you want to talk about? I mean,
I'll play a little bit more of this real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna drop this this in the chat. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the Book of Earth. I'll ask you real quick, bro. Have you ever heard of the Book of Earth?
no, I have not.
Okay, well, the Book of Earth has a bunch of different things in it. It's actually an audio book that's out. You can download it. I'm going to drop this particular video. You guys can listen to it, or you can go and download the book on the site that's listed in there as well. This audio book is about 6 hours. It goes from everything. The topics are awesome. Man's quest in space. You know, give you if you know what space is or whether you believe in space or not, just keeping in mind, guys, the meat and the bones. You know, you have to listen to stuff and get out of it what you know it's talking about when it comes to the inner or the outer shell, so on and so forth. So one is Man's Quest in Space. Then number 2 is Figures of Earth, the creation of Earth. Creation of the world, upholders of the world, the primeval Earth, the Babylonian universe, the Egyptian universe, the Earth-Moon catastrophe, the deluge, the lost Atlantis, the lost land of the West, trees of the world. That's one of my favorite. I might play a little bit of that while Squid looking at that. I think I will go to that real quick, to the trees of the earth. That's a really good one too. I wanted you guys to hear about the wheel, which is what I started playing. But when I drop this book, you guys can go to it. When you go through it in the description, you can look at each one, click on it. It'll take you right to the spot he's talking about it on. It's an awesome video. It has, let me see, Mountains of the World, and then The Wheel of Life, which is what I started playing. Earth, the Mundane Egg, Systems of the Universe, The Square Earth of Cosmos, Indocplutus, I believe it is. I'm not familiar with that word. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. The Peruvian Universe, the Aztec Universe, Tartar Mongol Worlds, Maps of the Earth, Earth of Columbus, Dante's Universe, Earth, the Heart of the Cosmos, St. Hildegard's Universe, The Earth in the Universe, Wheels Upon the Wheels, The World Octaves, Earth, a Hollow Sphere. That one might be interesting to you, brother. I know that's one of your things. And the Tetrahedral Earth. So I'm going to drop it in the chat, guys, but I'm going to play a little bit of the tree while the brother getting that together real quick. We'll play like a few minutes of it, and I'm pretty good by then. Unless you're ready to jump right in, bro.
So this is an audio book, right?
This is an audio book, but you can go and download it yourself, the PDF or what have you.
Oh, okay, bet. And that's what you put the link out for?
I'm
Download
about,
the PDF?
I'm about to put it, I'm putting a link to the entire video so you can either listen to it, like save it to your playlist and just play it. Like I said, you can go to each section on here, or there's a link, go to the page to download the book.
Could you go to the tree part on the audio book tip?
Yes. Let me go right to that.
Good luck.
Yes, it's it's awesome too. It talk about the world banyan tree. Oh my gosh, I love this book. I'm sorry, hold on, let me get to it. I just bypassed the tree. Okay, here we go.
"12 Trees of the World. There are 2 universal world figures found everywhere among all races, the world tree and the world mountain. Where man could draw analogies, his traditions prove it almost better than his written records. He knew that he had been born, that he was living, that he must die. Yet of birth he remembered nothing, and death he would not know until too late. But in the animal world, above all in the vegetable world, he could watch the recurrent miracles of life and death, rebirth and growth, sleeping and waking states, more easily than he could note the same miracles in his own sphere. And so he came very early and easily to see a correspondence between humanity, greatest of the animal world, and the tree, mightiest of its kingdom. It is true that in every great cosmological system, and in great and lesser cosmogonies, there stands the figure of the world tree, with its seed, its roots, its trunk, its resting perches, its knitting knots, its pith, its main branch, its leaves, its flowers, and their sweet smell, its refreshing shade, its immortal sap, and the spot where it grows, all brought into close and exquisite analogy with man and his universe. Without doubt, sings one of the greatest of the Vedic poets, though possessed of density, trees have space within them. The putting forth of flowers and fruits is always taking place in them. They have heat within them, in consequence of which leaf, bark, fruit, and flower are seen to droop. They sicken and dry up. That shows they have perception of touch. Through sound of wind and fire and thunder, their fruits and flowers drop down. Sound is perceived through the ear. Trees have, therefore, ears and do hear. A creeper winds round a tree and goes all about its sides. A blind thing cannot find its way. For this reason, it is evident that trees have vision. Then again, trees recover vigor and put forth flowers in consequence of odors good and bad, of the sacred perfume of various kinds of dhupas. It is plain that trees have scent. They drink water by their roots. They catch diseases of diverse kinds. Those diseases, again, are cured by different preparations. From this, it is evident that trees have perception of taste, as one can suck up water through a bent lotus stalk. Trees also, with the aid of the wind, drink through their roots. They are susceptible of pleasure or pain, and grow when cut or lopped off. From these circumstances, I see that trees have life. They are not inanimate. Fire and wind cause the water thus sucked up to be digested. Accordingly, again, to the quantity of water taken up, the tree advances in growth and becomes humid. In the bodies of all subtle things, the 5 elements occur. In each, the proportions are different. According again to the races of men, the type of the world tree varied. The date palm was the sacred Asherah of the Assyrians. To the Greeks and to the Norsemen, the cosmic ash was the world tree. But also to the Greeks and to the Germans, the oak was the life giver and the life sustainer. And the Greeks made the vine the sacred tree of Dionysus. Persian legends center about the Paoma tree, and the Egyptians had a mythical golden gem-bearing tree of the heavens, where the sky goddess Nut had her abode. The Japanese believed that a great metal pine grew far to the north at the center of the world, and the Russians have a legend of an iron tree, whose root is the power of God, and whose head sustains the 3 worlds, the heavenly ocean of air, the earth, and hell with its burning fire. To the branches of the jambu, or rose apple tree, the Hindu dead clung and climbed to immortality. India has also her incredible banyan tree, declared to be more like man than man himself. Unlike plants, man can move at will over the surface of the earth. But this sacred Indian fig tree bears the name of the tree of many feet, because its seed, rarely rooting in the ground, ordinarily sends down its hanging garden of roots from its nest in the crown of palms, where it has been deposited by birds. These aerial roots, touching the earth, sink into it, glide through it, and from it spring upward again to send down other drooping branches that root themselves, and so over and over until the prodigious grove, myriad parts of a single tree sprung from one air-nested seed, eventually destroys the palm that cradled it. Countless books have been written about the origin of the myth of the cosmic tree, but the gist of them all can be stated very briefly. First of all, heaven and earth are separated. They must be, therefore, at one and the same time held apart, lest the heavens fall down and crush the earth, and they must be also united by some subtle path of communication, some bridge over the monstrous interval. If a mushroom, delicate as a butterfly, can work a miracle in a night and raise a rock, a tree rooted in the earth may support the sky, but no tree of earth could reach to heaven unless it were itself divine, born somehow of the gods. And so we find a host of literal parent trees, said to be produced from the body moisture of deities, and capable, therefore, in their turn of producing man. In its more developed form, this parent tree became the tree of life, the tree of knowledge, offering men immortality and the wisdom of the gods. There is a Tibetan tree called Tarayana, or the way of safety, which grows by the side of the great river separating the worlds, and only by grace of its overhanging branches may men pass from the mortal to the immortal bank. The oldest world tree? Who shall say? When in search of the oldest, we always think of the ancient East, but no one can assert and prove that Yggdrasil, the cosmic ash, the world tree of the Norsemen, had its origin in the Orient. However, remarkably, its ideas coincide with the sacred trees of Asia. Let us begin for a change with the Occident and the Yggdrasil. The chief and most holy seat of the gods, say the Eddas, is by the ash Yggdrasil. There the gods meet in council every day. It is the greatest and best of all trees. Its branches spread over the world and reach above heaven. 3 roots sustain the tree and stand wide apart. One is with Asa, the second is with the frost giants, the third reaches into Niflheim, and under it is Velgamar, where Nidug gnaws the roots from below. But under the second root, which extends to the frost giants, is the well of Mimir, wherein knowledge and wisdom are concealed. The third root of the ash is in heaven, and beneath it is the most sacred fountain of Erd. Here the gods have their doomstead. The Asa ride thither every day over the Bifrost, which is also called Asa Bridge. There stands a beautiful hall near the fountain beneath the ash. Out of it come 3 maids. These maids shape the lives of men, and we call them the Norns. On the boughs of the ash sit an eagle, who knows many things. Between his eyes sits the hawk, called Vedfulner. A squirrel, by name Ratatosk, springs up and down the tree and bears words of hate between the eagle and Nidug. 4 stags leap about in the branches of the ash and bite the buds. The Norns that dwell by the fountain of Erd every day take water from the fountain, and clay that lies around the fountain, and sprinkle therewith the ash, in order that its branches may not wither or decay. There are a number of interesting things to note here, because of their constant recurrence in other world concepts, widely separated in time and race. One is the close association of the world tree with the world mountain. One springs from the other, take them in what order we will. Another is the division of the universe into 9 worlds. Another, for the sake of comparison with the Mayan world tree farther on, is the squirrel Ratatosk. Another is the Bifrost, or Asa Bridge. In the beginning of all things, says the Norse story of creation, there were 2 worlds, Niflheim, the world of ice in the north, and Muspelheim, the world of fire in the south, with all the space between an empty abyss called Ginnungagap. The fierce flames in Muspelheim blew constantly over into the abyss many sparks which confronted only nothingness, until from the ice-bound Niflheim a great spring opened and sent down 12 rivers, some of which flowed into the abyss and formed great layers of frozen vapor. At last the sparks of fire met the frozen air, and Ymir the giant was created, and then, in turn, from Ymir's flesh the earth was formed, and from his bones the hills, the heaven from the skull of that ice-cold giant, and from his blood the sea. Of the 9 worlds, Asgard was the highest and was the world of the gods. Below it was Midgard, or Earth, the world of men, a flat disk surrounded by the river ocean. Beyond the river ocean, but surrounding Midgard, was Jotunheim, the upper giant world, and beneath the earth plane was the great underworld divided into 4 worlds. In the north was the lower giant world of Niflheim. At the south, Erd and her 2 sisters ruled over the kingdom of the dead, and between north and south was Mimir's land, where dwelt the wisest of the gods, and with him day, night, dawn, and the sun and moon. Below Niflheim again was the world of torture, and below Erd's realm of the dead, the land of subterranean fire. Just 2 things bound these worlds together, the tree Yggdrasil, and the Asa Bridge, or Bifrost, and the third, the spirit of heaven, the great energizer, passing ever to and fro, guiding, controlling all the universe, from the first world to the 9th, at home everywhere, abiding nowhere, stirless when moving, and moving when still, that without which there would be nothing, here shown as merely a tiny, timid, nimble squirrel. But what was the binding and the separating bridge, the Bifrost? Again, who knows? Its arch was over Asgard, world of the gods, its northern tip resting upon the mountains of the ice-girt Niflheim, its southern end in the realm of the dead, where Erd and her sisters ruled. Some say the Milky Way is the original Bifrost, or the Trembling Bridge, as some say the Milky Way is the very trunk of the celestial tree. Others believe that the rainbow is the prototype for Bifrost and all the bridges of the world, for the world bridges are as universal as the trees and mountains of the world. Earth was cut off from heaven, yet somewhere, if man could only find it, there was a path that might lead back home. The Bifrost at its northern end was inviolably guarded by the great Heimdall, world judge or world divider, whose ears were so good that he could hear the grass pushing up through the ground and the wool growing on the backs of sheep, and he needed less sleep than a bird. The gods crossed it every day on their way to the judgment hall in the realm of Erd, but the way was barred against all others, lest some thief in the night should find his way into heaven. Yet it was the bridge also on which the souls of all the dead began their passage to the land of Erd. The Persians had their Jinvat bridge, which is to say also the bridge of the judge, over which all souls, good and evil, passed. That bridge, says one of their sacred books, like a beam of many sides, of whose edges there are some which are broad, and there are some which are thin and sharp. Its broad sides are so large that its width is of 27 reeds, and its sharp sides are so contracted that in thinness it is like the edge of a razor. Muhammad, too, placed a way over the middle of hell, which is sharper than a sword and finer than a hair, over which all must pass. Certainly, the North American Indians considered the Milky Way to be the bridge to the land of souls, a great village situated where the sun sets. They call the Milky Way Chipai Meskanu, the path of souls, because they think that the souls raise themselves through this way in going to that great village, wrote Paul Lejeune in 1634 of the Montagnes. 100 years later, Pierre Aulnois wrote of the Crees of Upper Lake Superior, that they believed in a paradise of feasts and great hunts for the immortal souls of the dead. But before reaching it, there is a spot of extreme peril. The souls have to cross a wide ditch. One side of the way is full of muddy water, offensive to the smell and covered with scum, while on the other, the pit is filled with fire, which rises in fierce tongues of flame. The only means of crossing it is on a fir tree, the ends of which rest on either bank. Its bark is ever freshly moistened and besmeared with a substance which makes it as slippery as ice. If the souls who wish to cross to the enchanting plains have the misfortune to fall at this dangerous passage, there is no help left. They are doomed forever to drink of the foul stagnant water, or to burn in the flames, according to the side on which they fall. Sometimes the bridge-building fiend makes the bridging spar a snake or a swinging log. A sketch of the world by a Thompson River Indian illustrates this exactly. They believe that the earth is square, level in the center, rising towards the north, from whence comes the cold, that it rises also in great mountain ranges about its borders, and that these mountains or lands are topped by mountains of air, the clouds and mists rising from the encircling lake of the world. All the rivers of the world rise in the north and flow south. This trail to the soul world has been minutely described by James Teat in his The Thompson River Indians of British Columbia. According to him, the country of souls is underneath us, towards the sunset, and its path is one of perils, storms, narrow bridges, and gaping chasms. The trail leads through a dim twilight. Along it are always visible the tracks of the people who last went over it, and also the tracks of their dogs, if they had any with them. It winds along until it meets another road, which the shamans or medicine men, their nearest approach to priest, use as a shortcut when trying to enter soul. From here on, the trail is much smoother and straighter, is painted red with ochre. Farther on, it winds to the westward, descends a long, gentle slope, and ends at a wide, shallow stream of very clear, mirror-like water. This stream is spanned by a long, slender log, on which the tracks of souls may be seen again. After crossing the bridge, if the traveler is fortunate enough to hold his footing on the slippery edge between the worlds, he finds himself again on the trail, which is now an ascending one. At a certain height is heaped a great pile of clothes. This marks the spot in the journey where the souls must leave behind them all that they have brought from the other world. And from here on, the trail not only seems level, but little by little the dimness and twilight confusion disappear. 3 guardians are stationed along the trail of the souls, one on each side of the river that must be crossed, and the third at the very end of the trail of the ghosts. The first of these, on the hither side of the stream, has built for himself a sweat house, where he finds most of his time. It is the duty of all 3 to send back to the land of the living any soul not yet ready to enter the land of the dead, even though he may have, by some miracle of accident, crossed the bridge. For sometimes it happens that a soul succeeds in passing the first two guardians, only to be turned back by the third, who is the chief of the three, and who now and then, being a great orator, sends back messages to the world of the living through the medium of souls who, having survived all other tests of courage and merit, fail in the final test of being judged worthy by the guardian of the gate of life to pass through. But, having been permitted by him to pass, the soul at last reaches a large lodge at the end of the trail. It is made of a hard white material, like limestone or white clay. It extends a long distance from east to west and is much shorter from north to south. Its top is like a round mound or anthill. The doors to this white lodge are at the east and west, and the trail leads up to the eastern door, which is very small, barely large enough to let a soul pass through. But the western door, through which the soul passes to the land of ghosts, is much higher and wider. Through the entire length of the lodge there is a double row of fires, for when the deceased friends of a person expect his soul to arrive, they go in a body to this lodge to talk about his death and prepare to welcome him. As the newly arrived soul reaches the entrance to the lodge of the dead, he finds someone standing at the door to greet him and call him by name, while others sing, dance, and beat upon drums. The air is always pleasant and still, and it is always light and warm. There are sweet smells of flowers, and abundance of grass and berry bushes laden with ripe fruit. The rest is hunting, feasting, and dancing through eternity, for the dancing or immortal souls. The wak-wak tree is a fabulous tree growing on a fabulous island somewhere in the Southern Ocean, or somewhere near Japan, or near the western or the eastern coast of Africa. It all depends on the traveler who tells the legend. It appears to have had nothing to do with America or the American Indians. Yet here is a curious bit of Sioux lore, which, in connection with one of the legends of the lost continent of the Pacific, has an odd interest here. The Sioux Indians have a special reverence for what they call the Wakada cedar. Wakada, according to W.J. McGee, who has made a special study of the world in his The Siouan Indians, is a very curious word indeed. It has, he says, as many connotations as the Sanskrit word karma, and, like karma, is not to be translated by any single English word. The sun, for instance, is not the or a Wakada, but simply Wakada. So is thunder, so is lightning, the stars, the winds, and especially Wakada cedar, by which they mean precisely the state of being which makes a cedar human and more than human. Even a man might be Wakada. The term, he says, may be translated by mystery more satisfactorily than by any other single English word. Nevertheless, with its vague implications of power, sacred, ancient, grandeur, animate, immortal, not even an English sentence of ordinary length could quite convey the sum total of the aboriginal idea expressed by the term Wakada. Perhaps all its meaning is conveyed when, applied to the cedar, they say it is the state of being which makes a cedar human and more than human. Now, of the wak-wak tree which bore human fruit, Turkey, Arabia, Persia, and India all had a tradition that in the Southern Ocean or some other unexplored waste of waters was an island called Wak-wak, or a great mountain called Wak-wak, because on it grew a tree which produced fruit with a human head, or fruit in the form of a human body, or even in the form of animals. And these beings at dawn and at sunset cried aloud so that all might know the passage of the sun, Wak-wak. The island and the mountain are mentioned in The 1001 Nights. Hassan al-Basri went there to find his wife and children. The tree is described without being named by Friar Ordorico of Pordenone, who in the 14th century left Italy to make the grand tour of the East. Arrived at Malabar, he wrote thus, "And here I heard tell that there be trees which bear men and women like fruit upon them. They are about a cubit in measurement, and are fixed in the tree up to the navel. And there they be, and when the wind blows they be fresh, but when it does not blow, they are all dried up. This I saw not in sooth, but I heard it told by people who had seen it." Plate 19 gives a drawing of the wak-wak tree, taken from an old Turkish history of Western India and its wonders.
Real quick, brother, you want to start? It's like about 22 more minutes of the tree before it goes into the mountain. So did you want to start on what you were talking about? Peace, twin? Or you still want to listen a little more? What's going on? Squid, stepped away.
Oh, my bad. We could stop. Yeah, we could stop.
Okay. Yeah, but it's interesting, guys. Just for you guys, if you guys want to hear more, like I said, that's just on a tree. It's like 6 hours. Yeah, I got it back. It's like 6 hours. It's got a lot of interesting stuff in it. You already know, meat and bones. All y'all that's aware, awoke, or whatever you want to call it, y'all should know what's what and what certain things are represent to, or if you can reference it to something of your own. So that's up to you, but it's very interesting. Okay, go ahead, bro.
So I think they was definitely taking from a lot of things and putting it together. So you know what I mean, he would be like he talked about what the Nordics was talking about with the little rat, the little squirrel, and the world tree, the ash tree and shit. And it seemed to be the frequent passage because we all pretty much take that same path. It's just that we're gonna hear it from people who make material or make content from back in the day that took that same path. So technically a person can write a whole book on some shit that we done already built on. But it's just the fact that what books do is hold people in time. Real good books could expand person mind every time they pick it up. Or you know what I mean? The result would be like they change their perspective for the better since reading that book. Some of them, they just be going after your pockets with a bunch of nonsense and filler. And so when it comes to calling the book the Earth book, what's it called, sister?
It's called the Book of Earth.
The
Book of Earth with S. Earth.
That's interesting. Like, go ahead. How big is it? You seen the physical copy of it? You seen like a picture of it?
No, now mind you, okay, I'm glad you said that. That's all I wanted to say. I almost forgot. So mind you, brother, this book, right? And when you go back, I get into a lot of the older books. I like to find on archives and stuff, right? So there are a lot of different books of Earth, and they have a lot of explicit information. A lot of it regarding to what I find fascinating about this is it goes into that tree, that Asgard tree. People always showing that tree and the beneath with all that stuff. That what it's talking about, that type of thing, and some of the other stuff. I'll just let everybody else listen to it. But all the things it talks about are like, I mean, it's some deep information. You just got to listen to it. Going into everything, like it even break down some truth. They talk about the Duluth. They talk about the supposed view from Columbus, which we know is a lot of lies. So it just breaks down a whole bunch of different things. But I think, like you said he pulling a lot of stuff and putting it. So he may have read certain information. He may have even read one of the old books of Earth and combine some information and stuff. But it's very interesting.
So is he also calling anything like, let's say, the Quran and the Bible a book of Earth? Is that the context?
Let me see. Actually, I don't think it even mentions the Quran, bro. It don't have, out of all of the topics, it says nothing about the Quran. It doesn't mention like the Bible. It doesn't mention the Quran.
Okay.
It talks about the systems and
What's his name? What's his name again?
The guy's name is Altrusian Grace Media. It's a actual company, but the guy's name, hold on, I did see his name. It might be on the website. Let me go to it.
Altrusian Grace, like the Etruscan?
Altrusian, yep. Altrusian, ALTRUSIAN, Altrusian Trace Ministries. This is a video that was recent from this particular site. I check out a lot of information from different like media sources or something to see if I get any truth or whatever in it, right? And this is something new that was put out. And then when I seen it, I'm like, oh, okay, let me check it out. So I went into the book itself, the download, where you can download it, but I decided not to download the book. I didn't want to purchase it because I didn't think it was that important for me to purchase. So I just listened to the audio book, and I just found a lot of the stuff to be like, I can recognize the information in it. Let me say that. But like I said, it's the meat and the bones. But yeah, I'll say more so interesting than I can validate facts in it. Let me say that.
Okay, so I'm about to. So I had came across this shit like yesterday. I was just messing around. I wasn't messing around. I'm actually cleaning out my computer, and so I had lost a lot of data recently on a couple of slides. Have been couple of information from some slides been deleted for real, and so it's a small setback, but you know what I mean. It's all good. So, anyways, guess what happened? I end up seeing this symbol, man, and this shit crazy. Hold up. And you on the internet, you on the computer. Could you do me a favor and look up what the meaning of the Ohm symbol is, if you don't mind?
Say that one more time.
Could you look up the meaning of the Ohm symbol?
Of the Ohm, O-H-M or O-M?
O-M. And I'm going to be right back.
I got to show y'all this picture Zoe sent me. Oh my gosh. It just said that. This is why I said that book got, you got to just listen to it. Y'all going to trip out on it. Okay. And I'm going to show y'all this picture in a minute that Zoe sent me. Okay. The meaning of Olympic. The sound of the universe. Going back to some sacred stuff. Huh? Go ahead, bro. I see it. Let me pull it up. Did you want me to read it, or you want to see one of these pics?
I mean, could you find out? And maybe because I know what I'm looking for, but what I want to know is the meaning of how that symbol came to play and what parts of that symbol mean to make.
Yeah. So the sound, we're talking about the sound of the universe, bro. That's all frequency. So in frequency, that we was talking about this earlier, remember on the thing where Drop was trying to get, Drop be getting confused, I think, with some of the stuff because they be throwing him off. But that one true source thing would kind of be like that as well, because it's the sound. Sound is a vibration, it's a frequency, it's a light. So that would be the same thing. And when you think about like that Sanskrit information, like the word formation, like symbols and shapes and all these things make or control certain things in the ether. So I believe that has something to do with that. If that's what you're talking about, I just want to say that.
Well, we're gonna get right to it then.
I got to show y'all this picture before we get into
go
that.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
This gonna trip y'all out because we just heard what the book was. I'm sorry, y'all. This shit be tripping me out. And my twin be right on it because we always on the same vibe most of the time on some of this stuff. I swear it's so crazy. So let me make sure I'm sharing the right part. Where's the picture? The image. Okay, there we go. It just said a tree. It was talking about the tree that bared women and men, right? Now look at this. Look at this, right? Look at that. Y'all see that? It's a woman. All of the fruit on this tree is shaped like a woman. It's a real tree. Y'all see that, right? The Nara, the mysterious tree that grows women fruits. Real or hoax? What you think? I've even seen the fruit that is shaped just like a penis. I don't know if y'all seen the name of the fruit is, but I seen it years ago. And it grows just like that. It has the sac and it looks just like the penis. Look crazy. I don't know how real it is, but bro just sent it to me. Look at this. And look at this. I don't know. Look at this. Here go another one. It's different fruits. I don't know. I can't say because I ain't seen them for myself. They
So
look at
so this
pictures.
this is what
They
you
look
do.
real.
This all you do is take whatever the subject matter is, and then look up hoax or debunked or truth of or something, and then you should get the counter end of this, which most likely is what's going to end up giving you is them growing fruit by placing a plastic frame over the fruit as it grow, so it grow into that shape. And they do the same shit with
So they put it on
certain
each
things.
fruit. They put it on each fruit though.
They put it like around the stalk or whatever stem that the fruit growing on, and they close it up around it like a plastic, like a kind of like a print. And so when the fruit grow, it's gonna grow, and it's gonna be it's gonna stop where the plastic is, so it's gonna just make that shape. But at the same time, Earth definitely got concepts of body parts that happen in nature, and including what look like people. And I seen a Arabic little manuscript. It had people growing out a tree too, for real. And so I would think that was old. That was older than them actually putting fruit plastic coverings on them joints. But this what that's gonna be my screen share.
Okay.
That hit the link next.
All right. Let me know because I don't see it yet. It might be my computer. You know, it's a little slow sometimes.
Nah, I just hit the link.
Okay. Dang, that's crazy though, twin. That's crazy that you just seen that recently and then we read that. To me, coincidences be more factual for a lot of things to me, I swear. But I can believe what you're saying because that makes sense. They make the mold, and that looked just like it had the fade.
Just look it up. Just look up the mold. Just look, see it. They got one.
I can believe you. I can believe you.
I ain't going front though. I know. I was looking at that shit too a while back, man.
That look crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh hell no. I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit. God damn, it's simple like that. So we grow off trees and shit. It made me think about, damn, yo, could we grow off a tree and shit? Could a tree grow us, man? I think that's a valid question, man. In all this world of spooky dookie, man.
Okay.
All right, so just share my my screen share coming from this way. So I don't think you ain't gotta share me. You could take X screens out and just put my screen in it.
Kick from studio. Nope. It's saying kick the gas. No. So how do I get this one on?
All right, then ignore it. Then I guess.
Okay. I thought you were saying share that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought that you could. Okay, so where I'm at with it is all these languages looking like they came from a Slavic or Asiatic conjunction origin. No matter if it's Arabic, no matter if it's Hindu, or anything that could be caught around in them areas. To me, they just all variations of the same shit. Now, there's proof that the Arabic Islamic version of things is a kissing cousin of the Hindus. The Muslims and the Hindus relationship and ritual and all that type of shit is identical in many ways. So, you know, a lot of Hindus profess that, point out that the Muslims ain't doing nothing but copying what the Hindus did. So the concept of Arab or Muslim is a type of extension of Kalima type shit, right? So if you go back further above that, you're going to get what we call the Oriental Mongolians and shit, right? And the Mongolian script is a lot like the so-called Arabic script. The only difference is the Mongolian write up and down with that shit. So what you see here on the right is a version of Mongolian script that's turned on its side. right? Just so I could show the little relationship or whatever. And so, but this is what I'm doing, right? I fucked around. I'm gonna look. I'm like, wait a minute. They're like, ain't that the sun and the moon right there? Because you know me, right? I'm over here. I'm in the crescent moon bushes, right? Every day, I got hella crescent moon pictures that I've been looking at, right? So I know that symbol is moon, right? So then I look at the next one. That shit got to be sun, right? You see what I'm saying? Them two, like if you were just to split that shit, take the 3 off of it. You hear echo? You with me?
Yeah, I'm muting. I think because I got that extra U up there, it's giving an echo, so I'm just muting while you.
All right. So anyways, there go the sun and the moon symbolized like that is what I'm thinking. And then that ain't nothing but that represent the earth. So if that's the sun and the moon and that's the earth, then that shit ain't nothing but the sun, moon, and earth for real. Right? Because the earth is showed as a heart-shaped concept on old maps and shit.
And that's what he's talking about.
See this? I was gonna put one with Jesus and shit. They be showing Jesus and Mary with the little heart in their hand and shit. Like they got people in my situation holding hearts in their hand. But when you got the whole world in your hand, right? They talking about he got the whole world in his hand. And they talking about a goddamn heart. Like, you know, Nirvana came out with an album called The Heart-Shaped Box. And so here go concepts that definitely show the shape of the earth as it was understood by these people in these days. This is how they understood the shit, right? And it translate way back because on the picture on the right, you got Haiti, who I believe is older than everything that goes in that direction, right? And then you got a picture of Mary with a heart in her hand. You know what I'm saying? And then a picture on the left is an African artifact that shows the heart-shaped earth surface or the concept with someone in the middle who I think are the ops for real. And they showing that these people came from the hollow earth because when you go into the North Pole, you go down in there and, you know, hollow earth concepts and shit. So them meatballs, you see his eyes, that should look like some rendition of Mongolian or Asiatic, and his skin, he white. So I'm like, you know, that's hollow earth shit. If the heart shape represent the earth for real, the surface, then where that face is on this could be telling us where they from or where they at. So, you know what I'm saying? So when we see that 3, that M, we already know the symbolism when it comes to how often they use it, right? The 33 and how M and all that other type of shit. But really, it represents the earth, right? Because you got that saint symbol for the football team. And, you know, you see that shit everywhere. It's always 3. It's 2 on each side with 1 in the middle. And here you got a picture of this Yggdrasil tree that whoever was just speaking on with the audiobook that you were showing. And so in their rendition of this Yggdrasil, right, you see it got 3 parts to it, right? And so this is how symbols could transform, flip, and shapeshift, because I could take this concept, it looked like a 3, right, and say this is the heart-shaped earth symbolism because it represents the earth. Or I could say that this 3 represent 3, right? Like this picture, and it still represents the same shit. It represents the earth, right? So it's like, how simple is the shit? That's programming. It's like all that energy for the sun, moon, earth. They must have just made it simple back in the day.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm
That
done.
symbol,
Thank
and it's crazy that you showed that because that's true, that's facts. And when I'm looking at it, you're absolutely right because it's the symbolism. Because before, there weren't letters and words, so that's why back then it would have looked different. They would show them in the symbols because everything was symbolized. Because the symbol is actually what puts the idea or the thought or gives you the imagination or something. So you're right. It's just like drawing it out, but it was just there. It's like subliminal.
you. Word right in. Yep. Yep. So I'm thinking they simple. I mean, that's that. I think that I'm gonna stay away from worshiping the sun and the moon like they did, because that's got to be the most the full force. They say that that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to sit there and right? When you say om and shit, right? You're supposed to sit there and be like, om for as long as you can and shit, right? Whole time that shit is all connected with the sun, moon, and earth energies, right? Which would sound good to someone who's ignorant, right?
That's yoga. That's a yoga concept. Yoga and meditate. I think people confuse yoga and meditation because in yoga you do meditate, but it's a difference. The meditation is more of connecting with the source, which is nature. And yoga is, to me, that's me. Yoga is something different. That's more on the spiritual realm where people are connected with what you're talking about. That sun and moon energy that is a different force. That nist that I be talking about. That's the difference, I think.
Right? That's like they probably give it 3 letters, even though you could say it with 2. It's probably OHM, because when it comes to electrical current, that's how many ohms is going on. It depends upon what the electricity count is, right? With the volume of such and such. They say this is this many ohms. That's how many electrical output. Computer, what does the definition of OHMS mean?
Here's something I found on the web. According to bakervapor.com, ohms are a measure of electrical resistance.
They're a measure of electrical resistance.
Like the electromagnetic energy inside you, right?
It's a resistance. It's the resistance of electromagnetic.
Or fighting against the electromagnetic energy. Wouldn't it be opposed to it then, or fighting against the electromagnetic energy, which is the spirit?
But yes. So what's the resistance about? Why would they come up with a meditative force or a meditative school where they teach people that they could meditate on this symbol while they say om, and they literally either do it outwardly or they do it inside in their mind? They say om, and then that is supposed to tap them in, right?
Right. But you know what, bro? Because it is the you just said something that made me see that. Say what you just said again, Squid. I'm sorry.
Them meditating or concentrating on that symbol, saying om outward or inside, is tapping them in.
That's tapping them in, bro. Right. That's pledging the allegiance to that particular energy. Just what you was talking about.
Yes. Yes.
To it, bro.
Yes. So that's it. That's the matrix right there.
Yep. That's it.
Because it's their spin on all of this shit.
Yep.
And we got to do the opposite. We got to do something different than that, right? When it comes to this type of thing. That's what the indoctrinated to the utmost point look like when you see a religious Hindu. It's like they lost in the damn world, Craig. They ain't got no purpose. It seemed, right? And this is the hypercritical, because that right there, tapping in. I done heard people say, you tap in with the sun, you tap in with the moon, but you just can't do it just any old way. And they trying to say that no matter who you is, this shit gonna work because it's the sun, moon, and earth. Just sit your dumb ass down right there, type shit. Like, yo, for real, just sit there, right? And have this connection. And so they have that connection, right? But how they live in their life today, how long this symbol been over there? Right? Like, how long they been pushing that shit, and look what they doing with they self today, right? So something is going wrong. And so if they connected to I'm talking about by definition, if they connected to Islam, that's how it go when they further up.
Exactly. And
Then
that's
when
the
you
one.
go,
That's
when
the
you
one governance, brother. That's the one covenant of that one haven.
they
That's
moving
exactly
in
it.
direction. Watch this. Watch this. They moving. Sister
Shout out to
Soul.
Beast Mode. I see somebody spoke to you, brother. You must got me blocked because I done went through my thing. I don't never see you or OG Philly, and neither one of y'all blocked on my end. So y'all got to check y'all to make sure that y'all don't have me blocked or somebody's blocked y'all. Because I see you in the chat, bro. But I wish you could jump up here. But I know if you're blocked in my chat, you don't even see the link. I would love for you to jump up here. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway,
Pin the link. Pin the link.
I thought it's not pinned. How do you pin it? I thought I had it pinned. It's not pinned.
No, it's not pinned.
I think even if it's pinned, because me and OG got that, the only way I can get his link, I got to go to my Life Coach channel in order to see the link. I can't see it from my Sister Soul channel.
For real?
Yeah, for real. It's not. You
Man.
can't even. That's why I said sometimes people can block people too. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm just letting both of y'all know that I don't have y'all blocked on my end. Y'all got to check y'all in, just so y'all know. It is up there, I believe.
Yo, so I think this shit is moving. Sister Soul. Watch this.
It is.
Yep, and it's going to start with the heavens. It's going to start with the gods. Where's that? All right, calm down. This shit is goddamn moving. Yeah, hold up, let me do one more time. All right. Oh, and that shit lined the fuck up. Yo, come on, yo. I ain't even try to do that, yo. I ain't even try to do it like that, yo. It lined it up. The green and the red curve went right together. Hold on, I need to cut this closer.
That's crazy, bro. Sanskrit, go back to it. All that invention of all the different mist energy and the combining and the man. Nathan said it's at the top. I don't know what you're talking about. I might have missed something you were talking about.
Okay. Damn.
Oh, who's talking about me?
Yo, I'm gonna leave it like that, yo, for real. Oh, look. Okay. Cut it. Am I reaching? Like,
It's
if you
the same.
start,
It's definitely the same. I mean, it's slightly different, but it's giving the same representation for sure. From what I see, that's what I'm saying.
mhm. If the sun and moon, if the moon and the sun in the sky are over the earth, as shown on the right, and then you turn it clockwise by one click, and now it's the way it is in the center, right? That's how they know the ohm. And then when you turn it one more time clockwise, one click, you get what you got for the Arab Allah, right? So the
Mm.
part that you see, the part that's a hoop, that's the sun, that part is slid over to the side with the Allah. It's just, you know what I mean? You see the 3 is in there, but it's a part of that. It's not separate like the one in the Om.
Right.
So what's the next level? It would be what the Islamic Allah look like on its side will be the next, because then we'll be turning it. That's one click, 2 click, probably 3, probably 4 different clicks to that. So let's see what it looked like though. If you don't mind. What you think though? I mean, you think I'm reaching? Because it's a reach, definitely.
It's a theory. I'll say that, and it's
Okay.
an understandable one that makes sense. I'll go there, because I see what you're saying. So not to say that we both 100% correct, but I damn sure am with you on it. So I'm with you. I see it. So yeah, I guess it's up to a person's mind to stretch and reach that, but I definitely see it.
So let's see, the next one will be upside down.
Let me see what this book is. Mm. And you know what's crazy, when you turn it each time when you're looking at it, right? Even though it's the same, it looked like it's definitely saying something different, because that goes to show the shapes and symbolism and what it can put in impression on your mind when you look at certain shapes and symbols and things of that nature. That's why they used against us, and it's easy to manipulate our thoughts with shapes and patterns.
Word up.
Mm.
So that should look crazy. The next time, like, how would this link? Oh, let's see. How would this link into the Om? The next piece that was facing. Let me try to make it cleaner.
would be a sound or a frequency that that symbol is putting off to create something or to put something out into the atmosphere or the inner of a person by taking in that image.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess this would be saying, like, what is that image really doing over time?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they the way I look at it is if they see, and why I'm interested a little bit about this is if they see this, if this could be seen as a type of clock, then we could probably that could mean something if it was.
Yeah,
But if it
because the
ain't,
clock would be what? Putting us in a state of being, putting your stagnating your mind. That's putting a person in a timeline or in planning a timeline to make a person follow through that particular time in that space of being versus, the natural order of whatever it is, you being stagnated by symbols, by shapes being constricted, being formulated. Symbols and shapes actually can change structure in a physical cell of a person, like literally by looking at certain shapes all the time. And that's why I'm tripping on what you bring. I was literally just studying something on this a couple of days ago, and then I broke away like I always do. But anyway, it was showing me how that the symbols, when you're looking at these symbols, or symbols are presented to us, because we are entertained by the visual, it pulls that information in, and it literally can restructure the cells in your body by putting your cells in a certain structure based off what you're pulling in on those symbols and shapes. That's how powerful the frequency is, because when you're looking at symbols and shapes, they give a frequency off. So that actually affects the physical body. And this is part of what I be saying when I say they reconstruct everything to with the indoctrination of the mind, body, and the soul, because all these things are tampered with to put us in a state of being, a place. And now we're entrapped in that. And then that, even you showing this and me getting the understanding of that particular symbol itself with that moon and star and all that is definitely assured that yes, this was a symbolism that was put for people to go into that frame of mind, that state of being. The people that came into that area, it's literally a state of being. I'm tripping on this right now. Yeah, so that frequency is like putting out false ascension, just like the false light and stuff like that. We hear that GMO, what do you call it, those Hertzian waves, I believe. It's slower than normal light, which light travels at a certain speed, so it slows down. It's a slower process, giving the GMO light or light information, GMO information to the frequency of the body, the sensors, everything with our electromagnitude. So it will be slowing you down, putting you in a state of being that is not normal to you, and what your vibration is that you give off as a normal person.
so all right, my bad. I'm not bad about the silence. So remember you brought up how it's what is it, anti-electrical, the ohms.
Say that again, bro. I'm sorry.
You remember you brought up the ohms, what the ohms meant.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it's related to what you're
Yep.
saying. I think we on topic. It's a negative feature. Like
Yep.
if this is how it moves, then it could be more pieces, but this is this could be, how would you say, a type of cube, because it's 6. We got 6 up here so far, but that don't mean that that's there could be not more, right? But right now it's 6. There's 6 sides to a cube, right? And in the Islam in the Arabic Kabbalah, that's a cube. When you got the Hindus, the shorty got 6 arms, right? Or some shit like that, like Kali Ma or whoever, Shiva or somewhere, we got 6 arms and all that shit. So that's like the same size there is to a cube. And we already know that there's a relationship with the Hindus and the Muslims. So it's in a swag, right? It's in a swag. And so Mongolians, right, if we was going to take it further up past the Arabs, past the Hindus, go back up, you dealing with Chinese and shit. I don't know, man. That get, I might be wrong about that because I don't know what to call them. But they let's call them Aryans, right? We getting into the Chinese Aryans, and that would be they shit. And so their connection with the so-called Orientals and the redheads and all that shit, I guess, is what the story bump into again. But so what do you think this is? It's like some type of negative clock, because what does the ohm do again? It resists some shit.
Yep, it resists. It resists and it resists against the force. So with that, same thing with, like we were just saying, we didn't go off because it's the magnetic energy, right? Because the electromagnetic energy is, let's say, the decay of the life force. It goes against or opposes against it because it's the animation of our shadow, which is like that gray matter that's within us, versus our plasma, our light energy. It's like it's the medium per se. So like it could be fluctuated to give energy, to bring it negative, to bring it positive. You know what I'm saying? So we look, like I said, these vibrations and certain things that these visuals put out. This is the witchcraft and sorcery over on us, because the certain things with that pendulums and what do you call it, like those metals, medallions, pendulums, things of that nature. They are used to actually create a shifting of the mind by changing thoughts in a person's reality by what they can picture, or by like a frequency or a sequence or light. If that makes sense, bro. That all of that and what you're talking about is definitely on point.
Okay.
I know if you was muted or
yeah, I was. It's a sensitive mute button, man. So that's like some computer-esque type shit, right? That's computer-esque. If they do circulations around this cube, don't they?
Yep, they do.
Do you know what direction? You know what direction they going? Not that it matters. Fuck it. It don't matter, because what that's going to go into is the CERN-like shape of the shrine at Mecca. And you can have the string. I'll stay.
The pendulums are made with a particular shape. They use certain shapes and certain angles, and they build them in a certain way that they resonate with a particular force or a particular energy, that Om energy, the Nis energy, all of that. So when people use, like in witchcraft and sorcery, that's why they all have these pendulums and stuff, because they're built for particular reasons, because they're to connect with everything you're talking about right now, because they pick up the frequency, and it's an invisible force of vibration that actually can pass through those things. And now those things can be passed over to you, and now you're formulated into that, because now it's changing structure within your cells, and you're picking that image up and that frequency and that vibration, and that is actually what changes cells. There all type of experiments that can show the structure of vibrational energy to the waters, and to powders and things of that nature. And that's what we are, mostly water. So those pendulums that send off that silent vibration in a certain spectrum, because there's a spectrum of energy, then we're going to pick up on that based off of those symbolisms that we're seeing in those shapes.
I'm with you. Yeah, 1,000%. That's fire. Yep. So you know what I mean? I like to remind the audience that ain't nothing negative going to come about due to this build, no matter what's seen, for real, etc. Definitely is just getting closer to the truth. If they got a program like that where they just, you know what I'm saying, they have it where people go around in circles. Like the way the complex is set up, it's shaped like how CERN's and concept is set up. Like they set up in the same manner, right? And what they doing at Mecca is something like a organic version of what they doing at CERN. Like when you have these people go around the complex, like that should be meaning something.
That's right. And these things going through us all the time. Even like now, we sitting at a computer or somebody that's on their phone with this stuff. This stuff is going through us all the time. It's an invisible spectrum of vibration. And it's continuously going through us. Radio waves, all these different things.
Facts. But, we shouldn't be discouraged. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like coming. Yeah, I know you're not. I'm just adding on, speaking to the masses with you. Like,
Yes,
the people should not, you definitely take control of the energies around. It's not that nobody need to play victim because they got new G's out or they got antennas. Like real talk, the proactive approach is to think of yourself as part of the elements. You know how they be like, oh, they putting this in the water, they putting this in the food. Like if you know what I mean, it's mind over matter for real, because when people be like, oh, yo, I'm star dust, the same thing that made everything come from the stars and shit. So what the fuck could they put in that shit then, huh? Really? So it's like a mental, spiritual warfare, man. It ain't just after your body, even though it's like the Matrix. If they believe in that shit, then they dead. Right?
Yeah. That's right.
So what? Let's find out. How can we quicker make it where we can fuck them up, for real? You know what I'm saying? Like with our minds, all that getting your guns together is necessary on its own level.
Yes, that's why I was saying. That's why I say it's a difference with like the yoga stuff is going into that, because that is what takes a person to another realm, looking to this higher power to give it something. Meditation, you're going it within. It's something that is totally different. So in meditating, right, the vibration or frequency that you're sending out in that meditation, this is how we get on point, bro. This is what I always be talking about when it comes to the meditating and being able to connect with the earth, because we have the control over that energy, because we are part of the same energy. We just have to know how to properly harness it, to use it, to make it be effective or utilize it for our benefits. And just like Yaya said, the sound frequency is transformation, because it literally does change those cells. So what we have to do is make sure we're in the right space, that we're getting the right frequency of vibrational sense, that we're on the right page, and we're not pulling in all those different vibrations, those frequencies, and those things are different colors and lights. That's why I said we got to be careful what we pulling in through the senses. These are all the things that pull that information in, that elf energy, so on and so forth, all the things that are a negative aspect for us. Not to say that some negative things aren't good, depending on how it's being used, but the negative aspect that we do not want to be in, because it takes us to a lower vibrational state. But we want to be vibrating high so that we're able to exceed these spectrums of vibration that are being manipulated, because that's what's being played with. That's what's being able to alter us, mind, body, and spirit, taking us out of a space, putting us somewhere else, taking us and putting us in that cube, in that box that wants to be manipulated by these particular things. And it's colors. That's another thing. We got to think of that. The colors. You know, that's why they always have these
Oh,
different
my
colors.
bad. Damn. Hey. So
Oh, you
yeah, I
start.
agree with you. Yeah, my bad. I agree with you, right? And so they keeping people in the low vibrations, right? And they vampiring off of that. So they
Yep.
vampiring off the people who are kept in the low vibrational frequency concepts, like a trap. Like they eat the ones that get caught in the trap. That's the ones they like. And so they promote that people have these low vibrations. So the whole population could karmically maybe sit, you know what I mean, in a way where they feel like their hands clean by partaking of this vampirism or this cannibalism or whatever, right? Because it definitely like energy draining, energy vampiric type concept, man. That's tough.
Peace, brother. What's going on? My brother done came up on the live. What's up, bro? Huey P.
Sister Soul, what going on with you, sis?
None, bro.
Huey
Me and
P.
Squid
Salutes.
up here tripping on this little sun and moon stuff he went into it. So it made me think about that symbolism trapping us and stuff, bro. It must have been meant for you to come up on this because man, the frequency, the energy, and we're talking about those symbols and how the words make the transformation and putting you into a space or a box or all of that, bro. So you already know you the word with it, but you can probably definitely tap in on what Squid was just saying. Squid, go ahead. I'm gonna let y'all have it for a minute.
Now the broke out the floor for real. What's up with you?
Damn, I thought the mic was unmuted. What's going on, Squid? What's going on with you, bro? Nah, y'all got it, man. I'm just tapping in. I'm just trying to catch up where y'all was at. I just seen the sister was live and just jumped on. Shout out to Quint. What's going on with the God? I see y'all, everybody out there in the chat. What's going on with everybody? What's going on? Just came to support the sister.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
We gonna tap in right now. We was hitting on it. Go ahead, Squid. I want you to keep going so we can hear what you were saying. He just popped in, but just go show him real quick that picture. We was showing symbolism with the heart and the sun, moon, and all of that, just so he'll know where we was at when we was talking about the symbols and those shapes and things that actually make the formulation. I just want him to be on the same page with us so he could hit it too.
Bet. So the picture on the left, the picture on the right is Mongolian flipped on its side. So, it's sideways. They write up and down. But the relationship point to outer is the fact that the picture on the middle is the Arabic and the picture on the left is the Hindus, and Sanskrit looks similar. And I don't got no picture for Sanskrit, and Sanskrit would probably be before the Hindus. And in the order, it would in the order of appearance it's looking like the Mongolian shit might be older on the low, right? And so when we see variations of the Hindu, which is red, that was conquered by people from the north where Mongolia is at, and then you got the Arabic, which is green, which is even more further down. And so it looked like it's there's the what do you call it? The link between the Arabs and the Hindus with their symbols. And they pretty much like a related culture for real in a way with their rituals. So what I did is I took the Om symbol and I flipped it. And I saw that, oh yeah, that's right. The Om is the sun and the moon and shit. On the Om. That's what I noticed first. My bad. It started like that. Bang. The sun and the moon. The heart is for the, that shit represent the earth for real. Right? Because people talk like that, right? It don't matter if it's really shaped like a heart. It's the matter that the language spoke on it like that from Haiti, Africa, Europe. You know what I mean? So yeah, they go that, right? So they go a representation of the earth. You see it got the 3, like the saints symbol got the 3. It all mean the earth, right? Whether it's the letter 3, the number 3 or or the tree version or the heart, it still represent the same shit. So all right, bonk. So that should look like the sun and the moon. So if I flipped it to see the sun and the moon on the top of the earth, right? And that's what you get at the bottom right. And so that would be the sun and the moon in the heavens. If we are on the earth, that's what that represent, right? So then I turn it. Oh, I wonder what the other. It don't matter. See, it don't matter which way that turn no more, because we already see they picked the choice, right? They the Om symbol, that's how it's known, the way we see it at the middle bottom, right? That's how we know it, right? So when you turn it upside down or you turn it to its side, it's going to turn into the word for Allah, right? With a small variation, but a still noticeable pattern, right? It's the same symbol. And then you put that together with their rituals and their God concepts and shit, and they ways, they definitely link. So turn that shit again, you get that, which would be the 7 o'clock or the 9 o'clock, and then the 12 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. So that's 6. That could be the 6 sides to the cube at Mecca, the 6 side arms to the Shiva. And so what that be? Sister Soul broke it down like it's a computer that, or some type of function that drains or is vampire, parasitic, negative science, like voodoo. And so we were talking about how in the Kabbalah, how they go around, and the Kaaba is shaped like CERN. And so what they doing at Kaaba is a rendition of what they would be doing at CERN, but with people. So that's where we at. We talking about kind of like the mechanical voodoo of these symbols that these people got people swimming in, right? With these frequencies and shit. And so I guess when you came up, it was at the time where I was talking about, you know, when people hear about the negativities that's out there, you know, we shouldn't be like, oh, they got us, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Know better. And, you know what I mean? This shit make for an interesting fight. And that's where we at. Peace. Salutes, everybody.
That shit dope. That shit dope, bro. I follow you all the way. That shit makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that mean a lot coming from Huey P, man. I try my best. Yeah.
And it shows everything that I be talking about with that M, that W, that 3, that B, the heart, how everything is all connected. I see it like literally. You feel me? Like when you switch it like that, you feel me? How you was talking about the which is the UM, is U in them, and then it's EM in them too, which is him, and then EM, which is M, and inside is his heart. You feel his heart is in there. But the is that which is the frequency of the center or the creator of it all. So that's what that is looking like to me. You feel me? Which is you, or the 2 of you. It's 2 U's in there, or the 2 V's, the IVs, and it was looking at you, and it showed you that you was me, or that is we, or it's inside of you. The heart was the center, and the earth was inside of you. Literally.
Oh my gosh, bro, you just broke it down. The 2 U's. So it is the 2 EM energy, the 2 U's, the one energy, which is the true you, the soul. Then it's the inorganic GMO energy, which is the spirit, which is the electromagnitude, which is all of that opposite energy. That could be what we would consider the negative energy, but it is that energy, that Nis energy. It is the Om energy. It is everything that can assume the body, that ENT that we talk about all the time, bro. It's all of that. That is what that Om is. That is what all that is. The 2 U. So it's either you standing in yourself or being a part of the other you, making it a W. So now you combine with that, and you are being usurped by that because you're a part of it instead of taking the control and being the whole damn thing. Go ahead.
Man, it's like taking control of a machine once you realize how to control it. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, great addition and building. It looked like I'm seeing 666. Now I'm looking at them hoops as them 6s, them 3 6s, and then you got the 0 and the 1. I'm looking at the bottom right? I'm looking at 0 and 1. That's computer language. And so 3 6, that's supposed to be the number of a man. So they really saying this motherfucker is an android. goddamn AI and shit. And so the AI done tried their best to communicate some shit. I don't know if we speak in their language or they speak in that language. But the moon and tech, they connected. So I'm looking at 01666.
Binary. There you go. That's binary. And what is that? What is binary, bro? That's the coding that we were just saying. What did I just say? I said the symbols and those shapes will change the literal cell structure in your body, changing the binary frequency code in you. Come on now. Can't get
right. And look what they doing in the world, Sister Soul and everybody else. They talking about there's a term you could use called non-binary. I don't know what it means. Right. But I know that that's something that exists. Would it be like I'm neither this or that? I'm non-binary. I don't know what that means, but I know it exists.
So that's saying that if they're claiming to be non-binary, bro, that's like saying shit. I ain't human, right? That's like saying I'm not.
I don't know what it means.
It means you're not a man and you're not human. Because if you're a man, you have binary coding. If you're a flesh and blood being, right? So if you're non-binary, that means you're saying you're not a man or a woman, or you're not a human. That's what that's saying. I don't know if they mean it to be that, but that's what they're saying. If they say they're non-binary.
Oh man. Okay. So people is allowed to call themselves a being, right? Is that what they? I don't know what it is. I got a context. I gotta have a context. Computer.
A human being. You just go ahead. If I get it.
Not I'm sorry. I gotta cheat. Yeah, I gotta look at. Computer.
I don't know that.
Computer. What does non-binary mean?
Non-binary or genderqueer is an umbrella term for gender identities that are neither male nor female identities that are outside the gender binary. Non-binary identities fall under the transgender umbrella, since non-binary people typically identify with a gender that is different from their assigned sex, though some non-binary individuals do not consider themselves transgender.
Oh, that's confusing. They don't consider themselves transgender, but they don't consider themselves either sex. So what does...
They're taking their stuff out of the man or woman or human capacity is what it said. And it just stated the same thing. They omit themselves from being human. That's when you say that, that's crazy.
So are they soft? Are they soft preparing us for the introduction of beings that don't fit it either? Like for real, for real?
The AI being changing. This is why they've been doing the RN changing of structure. This is why they were trying to do the put everybody on that, because now if you get this and you get an injected, it's going to change your sequence coding into your body. Now you're not you. That's why everybody got that thing. Every person, they are under a particular patent as being this because they are injected with that now. So you have changed your literal RNA structure and going into a whole different stage. You are non-binary because you're not a binary being. A binary being is a human, man or woman. Yep.
That means that means somebody a 0 or a 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're either a male or a female. You're a 0 or a 1. And I guess that the female be the 0, and that's primordial water 0 point concepts, right? That's the womb. That's what they've been trying to call the heaven. What do they call it? The queen of heaven.
Oh, you talking about mother goddess?
Yeah, the goddesses concepts, right? Fertility goddess. Like, see, they don't have the spirituality to be like religio, like for real, but they got concepts where they be like fertility goddess. Like, who the fuck thinks about a fertility goddess, right? So it's like you could tell by their language as time go on that they crazy. Like a robot would be crazy. Like, you know what? I think this motherfucker is a robot. That might dawn on us. Not to say that it's going to be a robot, but it's going to be like something different. You know,
That's why when we
like
came
on.
in with the Earth thing, where I was playing that part. I stopped when you came up, but I was on the part about the Earth wheel, and that's kind of talking about that the Earth wheel, the cycle, you know, because everything is run off of the vibration and the frequency and the frequency of light, how you're adapting to it, how you're using it, how it uses you, all of these things. Because with the spectrum of energy, with that invisible energy, there are colors attached to that. So, like I was saying, with those colors, they do so much when it comes to changing us. But that's a wheel. We're riding. So it's like, how much energy are you putting into the one that's controlling that wheel, or are you just going along with the wheel rolling? You know what I'm saying? It's that type of concept. Perspective, anyway.
Okay.
You muted if you said okay. Just want to make sure.
So I'm just, you know what, I can't help it but think about or tell you what I'm thinking about. We come across this mind state as we speak on something like this. It's like the build in which that talks about Brittany Griner, which Beast Mode brought up, and that whole potential about what type of plays is done when done with her, right? And man, I don't know, man. That's tough to me, man. I don't know. It seemed like it's tied into this because we talking about this mecca, this concept, right? Whereas they got the cube, you got CERN, we got these symbols, right? You talking about how words and even pictures and visuals of things could affect the molecules and the frequencies in the body, right? And so tying that all together, it seems like it's given more backing to the existence of a moon Saturn matrix. Like, even if, let's say, we don't believe in Saturn or planets, like me myself, I don't believe in planets, but I believe that I think that the Earth, the moon Saturn matrix was a version of disclosure, but it was impartial. It was partial, right? It was a great deal of meat in there, but the bones was even more so, right? Where I don't know what happened to David Icke's information. I didn't follow him like that. And when he dropped that shit, I didn't give two fucks about it. The only reason why I mention it is because
I'm sorry, real quick. Is he the Sumerian dude? Is he the one talking about the Sumerians?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. He's another right. He another guy. And you know, I just saying it because I know that he exists. You know, I bought one of his books back in the day, and I seen the interviews he did with Credo Mutwa, and I believe some of that. Right. So and he the first one to come out and say the moon matrix. He one of the first ones for real, actually, now that I think about it, to actually say the moon was fake. And so maybe what I should do is I should push his dumb ass, because me doing it by myself like it's my idea, which it is not profitable. I'm just kidding with y'all. But yo, if I put up David Icke was telling the truth, I wonder how that would fare. I don't know about his.
I'm with David Icke though, because you know how I feel about the moon.
And you know, so and the
Saturn. Check him out.
You know what I'm saying? And the Saturn concept, regardless if we believe in planets, we know that the Saturn death code exists on Earth, right? So it still make all its connections. And you know what I mean? Yeah.
On the spectrum, bro. We got to keep it. We got to remember that it's all on the spectrum, and being aware that this is the best way to be able to try to guide that spectrum, use it, or oppose the forces to that ohm, and you know, all of those things. Because vibrational, that spectrum is what it do. It creates things. So it's a manifestation. So vibration, the vibrational spectrum, let me say it like this, it's the manifestation, right? So it can create like color, shape, sound, it can form boundaries of certain objects, all of that stuff. So it literally, what a person thinks is a vibration, it's like powerful. It's a lot. It causes sigil. I believe, you know how y'all always talking about those crop circles and things of that nature. I believe those came from a vibration. I believe those are created from certain vibrational sound waves that just come and boom. That is just right there. We wouldn't even know how, but I really could see it because that's the only way those precisions and the preciseness, because vibration actually creates the shape. It moves things. It manifests things and formulates things into a certain way. And depending on the vibration or the sound that's put out, it's going to make a certain shape. And that's just period. You could do an experiment on that for yourself just to see that. The 3D mind is kind of what's going on, you know?
So instead of saying, all right, it come to a matter of we're gonna work with it or you're gonna break it and manipulate it and change it every time, right? And it's like when it comes to the information, like I give the credit and I'll tell you, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I came across that David Icke information, I didn't really believe in that shit, and I wasn't sure about it, and I kept it moving, and I've since forgotten about it, and I've since went on my own situation years and years later, and it just so happened that I'm in my own lane and not even thinking about his dumbass for real. I seem to be proving some of the shit that he said already, right? Where it's like there is a connection to the moon and that Saturn concept. And I'm not trying to believe in planets, so I'm just saying that from the angle of following the codes, following their little symbols, following in what the government patterns look like, it seemed to got to deal with both the moon and Saturn. Right? So if it's true about that, then I think his relay is that the moon sucks up the souls and the mentality or and project the will of the Saturn. It sends the souls to Saturn, and he throws it through the machine, and Saturn control all of that which happened to the soul, and then spit it out through the other planets into what we'll call heavens or hells. And these places is a part of a circuit that is got everything to do with how life incarnates and reincarnate and all that type of shit. That's my understanding and memory and a little bit of my own shit. My own twist to that would be that there's titans in those moons that they call planets. Their souls are on the earth through projections that are worshipped and energized so that they can keep on living. Then that's the purpose for the machine, which is like a blood making machine, kind of like a slow version of a juicer or some shit, where humans are the blood packets of, but it's more than just blood spilling. It's reasoning, it's content, it's soul, it's consciousness, it's all these things that they're able to detect and read that they are treating like as if it was a garden, right? So they want it set up to where they're gonna know exactly what the fuck they doing, even though we might see giants that look like they lie themselves, right? Or we might see UFOs or some shit, and they'd be like, "Oh, all right, they decide to land over there." Like this shit, some type of orchestra of death cultism, right? And it seemed to be somewhat mechanized in a technological way that deal with not only these symbols and how people get affected by frequencies, but that whole shit all together, like some mass production.
Mm-hmm. That's the energy, and that magnitude from the vibration of the energy, because the vibration is what causes the forms, right? So it's part of the light function, and it's based off of the shapes. So it literally is affected by that. The life force that's in our body, those shapes and the geometric forms, all of that is creating that cell structure within us. And it's easy for it to be replicated, duplicated, transformed, changed using these things. It's so many multiple things. There's the sound, there's the vibration of the light, there's all of these coming in to very quickly replicate the cells and easily transform them, especially when it's something that you're not even aware of. the colors, the vibration just from looking at these different colors and shapes and things, you're not even aware of it. So it's just coming down on you so easily. It just study changing something that you're not even aware of at all. The visible light spectrum is like 12 bands, and each one has a different color. So when you're thinking about that, vibration, there's like 12 bands of it. So it's an invisible, it's a visible, basically, light spectrum. So it's a different color associated with each one. So you got to think when it's vibrating or moving or things are blending a certain way, you're gonna get different colors, and this is having to have more energy, because it's the energy that's rising in that and giving you more light information. That's why they use those colors when it comes to your chakras and all of that stuff. It's all somatics, sound, vibration. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's all used to apply.
You're right. I'm all with you. Yep. Totally with you.
Because sound and vibration, it can actually create and manipulate matter. Period. Any type of matter.
Facts.
You can look up experiments on that, like I said. So you can imagine if it does it to something simple, like different, like water or different things of that nature, what it's going to do to a whole body. That's nothing but the water. You just got to think like that. It's easy to shape shift. That's what the shape shifting is. You hear shape shifting, this and that. All that stuff is in relation to the body and the cells. These things are shape shifted or reformulated, reconstructed in a way to dehumanize, basically, to take you from the human state, take you into that, all that, what we were talking about, the this, all the energy that is a different energy that can be used for different things other than the beneficial of your particular self, the Godhead in you.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's why I kept asking you, it's a resisting, because in my mind, that shit was a non-resistive concept when you're supposed to sit there and meditate and get in contact with the earth, nature, and all this other shit. So to hear that the term used for the Om is a something that resists electrical current, that just seemed like, well, damn, well, there you have it. That the whole concept of the Om is negative, it's backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably supposed to say moo, right, like that.
Right.
Fucked it up.
And you're right, because it is backwards. Mostly everything is backwards. That's crazy. You said that. Look at the vibration that we say versus saying that. And remember that our people used to use those sound somatics, vibration, and certain words and things for healing. And they can be used for that now. I do Reiki healing. So energy is a big thing for me. So when you're using words and things of that nature, that's why, like, when I get upset, people are like, oh, Sister Soul be going too hard. I can't help it. When I get upset, it's like that energy, I'm gonna redirect it like right away. You're gonna feel it much harder than me while you're trying to come at me, whether you think so or not. And I don't intentionally do it, but I just flip, and it's like the somatic in the words. I'm gonna use words that I know are gonna hurt intentionally. That's what I'm doing, because you're hurting my feelings. You put me in a spot, so now you gotta feel it too. That's how I feel, because I'm not in my right mind at that time.
Check this out. Check this out. You could take that energy and put it into your into, let's say, a research, or how you feel about a research type energy, right? Whereas like I could start off a presentation with people with pictures of guns and pictures of the Dalai Lama, right? Just so that I could visually see an idea or a phrase, right? Then the next picture, I could make it where it's somebody that looked like the Dalai Lama, or somebody from that region set on fire, burning, right? Like some of the monks do, with a self-immolation, right? You heard of that? You've probably seen it, right? It's when they turn themselves on fire. But
they don't really be on fire. They're showing what they do when they're doing that, they're in a deep meditative state, and they're showing you that they are literally bypassing the physicality, and they're literally in the spiritual realm. So they don't feel those things that you think would affect the physical at the time. That's what they do.
That's tough, man. You know, that's tough. That's all I can say about it. But yeah, I done lost. You know what I mean? I done lost the concept, yo, for real. What I was thinking.
Let me show y'all.
It's cool. I can't remember. So, yo. So,
Dang, I want to hear what Huey had to say about them semantics. He must have had to do something real quick. 'Cause I definitely want to get into that. Dang.
let's see. Well, I definitely didn't think that I'll be dealing with such a difficult, it's not even difficult, but you know what I mean, it's definitely a worthy object, because it's saying that that shit do work like a computer, yo, for real. So like we would have to just erase that shit on that level, or just knock all that shit down. And I wonder what's the best approach, right? Like knocking it down is probably the best approach, right? Because that's what we really want anyways. We don't want to be sidebarred with some old let them talk type shit. Yo, for real, we want to be secure. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that would mean that we would need to be able to just pull a thread on a dumbass. Even though it don't have to work like that, but I'm just saying. Okay, so this mean that there's some inner earth concept, wouldn't that be reiterating some shit that we can't really fucking affect for real, because we ain't going down there?
Now, I got a build. I'm finna start in like 8 minutes, something like that. And it is, you can join me if you'd like to, because it's kind of on the same thing. We can actually continue on this, and then I'm gonna go right into my build. I'm gonna close this and start that, because I'm gonna be talking about the ardent spirit.
The what?
Ardent spirit. Are you familiar with ardent spirit? ARDENT. Ardent.
Oh, okay. No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, join me, bro. When I end this, I'm gonna go right into it, because it starts at 6. I done postponed this since yesterday, so I definitely want to do it today. And it's perfect actually, because we were talking about this, and this is gonna lead right into it. Remember, I was telling you I wanted to do a build on alchemy, right? That's going to be a different build, but this ardent spirit kind of goes into the alchemy of the mind and spirit. So I'm gonna do that. It would be too long, but you know, I'm gonna, it all depends on how good it is. So about to get into that one, and then you know, I'll do the full alchemy when I have time, because that's gonna be a pretty long build for me to get all the information in there. So definitely, y'all, when I end, check right back in. But yeah, what we got a few minutes, bro. Anything you want to say, go ahead.
Yeah, yo, I appreciate you going live and letting me up as well. And you know, definitely one of the quickest unravels, man. And I appreciate the build. That just shows the caliber of build power, right? To me, right? When it comes to you know, we talk about frequencies and stuff, but yeah, we realize it's always about that. You know what I mean? They're everywhere. And so when it comes to accuracy, whatever frequency that is, man, I hope everybody find what that is, and be able to safely be about that type of shit, man. Because, man, you know what I mean? I appreciate it, man. Much salutes to you, Sister Soul.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna tune in for real, definitely.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'll just get into it, and it's actually ardent, bro. Let me put it in the chat. Ardent spirit. He said, "Who is it?" House of Arden. House of Arden. I think I heard of House of Arden. Actually, now that you just said that, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. It may be in this Book of Crest. I want to go over that too. Oh my gosh, that's something else I keep saying I want to do, and I haven't done. This Book of crest, this book of crest, it's got all the family crests and the name, where they came from, all this other stuff.
Ooh.
Oh, I want to get
Crest
into
for
it.
where? For where? For where? For where? From like the world?
Everywhere.
Wow.
I literally got like 6 different on it, to be honest. So
Oh, that's gonna be nice.
yeah, I be trying to get the time, bro. I swear it ain't that easy. But I definitely want to do that. But this is the ardent spirit, bro.
Ardent. You know what? Let me just guess, because I really couldn't say anything accurate about that. I would just say that I must have come across this, or I must have seen this somewhere where it go something to do with the occult, and maybe like a student, but I don't know. But I think I've seen that. But I think that I've seen that in the realm of some type of spirituality or some from the East, right? But then again, I could be thinking of some. But I think I've seen ardent or adherence. Is that another word for it? Or adherence?
You're talking about adherence?
Or something?
No. Actually,
Oh,
ardent
okay.
spirits actually is a okay. Let me see. I'm gonna just tell it all with the bill. But what it is it is your manipulation of alchemy that was used on the nation, and that was used to mess with the minds of the indigenous copper man, to have them so confused as to where manipulation could be used on them very easily. I'll just say that. This is why when you go to a liquor store and you see it says wine and spirits, because it's legalized that you have to note that the ardent spirit is a concoction, a witchcraft, a sorcery, a witch's brew. That's why it's not really good to drink, because what it does, it puts a person into that aspect of everything we just was talking about, brother. That's why I said this bill.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, when I say crazy that you even went there, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy.
Man. All right. Well, I'm gonna be gone so you can get doing what you're doing, man. I'm ready to tune in and hear that.
All right, yes. Appreciate
All right.
it, bro.
Peace to you, peace to everybody.
Thanks for coming up. I appreciate it. You know I like the bill. That was great for you to do that.
Already.
Yes, peace. Yes, guys, we about to get into it. Yes, etymology is freaking key. Talk about that. Yes. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna close out, and I'm gonna open that up right now. Y'all feel free to join me if you'd like to, so we can get a little more into that. I want you guys to see that it was talked about by our people, and they didn't want it. They're like, come on, this stuff is messing us up. So yeah, tune into that in the next second. Peace, bliss. I'm out.